In your face, all over the place. We're online 24/7. 24/7. You're listening to the hottest internet station.
From beautiful Saline in southeastern Michigan.
Around the world at sunskymysteries.com.
This is the 2009 Top 10 Webcam in the World winner. This is SETV.
Well, good evening, everybody. Bill Sam here. It always helps if I happen to plug in my monitor headphones, and here I am. Remember, whenever you're outside, always wear a ball cap, because it screws with the facial recognition on the drones. Well, good evening. It's been a little while since we have done a show, the 13th of June to be exact. Let me get my microphone levels adjusted here. We also have some stuff I need to print out here for the show. And let me do that. Let me see here. We're going to go ahead and click this. We're going to click this. This is your live talk show. At any rate, we're going to go ahead and wait for the printer to spew out some talking points for tonight. On the 13th, we did a show, and it was quite humorous for me, anyways. Hold it. Okay, there we go. It was quite humorous for me because we had an excellent, most excellent audio clip for all of you to listen to about a guy in Detroit, actually in Warren, Michigan, the same city that my wife is in during the week, taking care of her disabled mother during the week. And this guy dumped a bunch of logs in the middle of the street in Detroit. Just stopped in the middle of the street and dumped the logs. And, well, the TV reporter caught up to him and asked him what the hell's going on. And, well, he said, let me tell you something. I don't answer no questions from no women. No women. And she said, well, you know, somebody yelled at you while you were there. And he goes, it was probably a woman. I don't listen to no woman. It was hysterical. These are the kind of idiots that I'm surrounded by. And of course, pardon me. And of course, as soon as we uploaded that to YouTube, sadly, they don't seem to understand that we are doing a talk show here. What we do is we have clips. We have websites that we show on the screen here. And we do commentaries about those. That is what a talk show is. We don't report the news. We comment on the news that is out there. This is called fair use. Unfortunately, YouTube has decided to become the right haven of the internet and proceeded to block our show from the 13th because we played that audio clip. Very nice. So that's my commentary on what they did, reporting the news about what I reported. So I'm just doing a commentary on my commentary about my commentary of the news. And like Michael Savage says, in a year or so, what you're seeing as talk radio right now, what you're seeing as commentaries like this one that come on a daily basis, on a nightly basis, whether it's over the air or on the internet, this stuff is going to cease to exist. This stuff is going to cease to exist. Now, let's get on with tonight's commentary and see how it goes. Nixon was the last empirical president that we had in this country before near Obama. You see, Nixon, I was, a lot of you probably aren't old enough to remember back then, but I do. I was a kid then, but I paid attention to politics. I've been paying attention to politics almost all my life. In fact, I remember when Kennedy was assassinated. I was a little kid at the time. I was pretty upset that my kiddie shows weren't on Saturday. And as it turned out, while the president had been assassinated and they were doing coverage about that, I was a little bit too young to understand at that particular time. What we learned from Nixon is it's not the crime that gets you in trouble. It's the cover-up. That's what Nixon said. All of these decades later, we are seeing the same thing, the exact same thing happen again, except this time people have gotten killed over it, murdered. This time, it's in the guise of Attorney General Eric Holder. Last week, to bring you up to date if you haven't heard this stuff, Eric Holder told the Congressional Committee that, of course, this is all Bush's fault. The Bush administration started this gun-running thing, Fast and Furious thing. Of course, it's Bush's fault. And now we find out that that was an outright lie to Congress. He, of course, has retracted his little faux pas. But the fact remains, he lied. He lied to Congress. They are, of course, calling it an inadvertent statement. But he did lie. That's plain and simple. That, along with a bunch of other things, has generated a contempt of Congress charge that is being passed on to the full Congress to vote on. Now, it's not the crime. It's the cover-up. Of course, in this particular situation, government officers, Border Patrol agents, have been killed, murdered by this Fast and Furious thing. At this point, Elijah Cummings and Sheila Jackson Lee, who said last week, hey, this is all Bush's fault, have to go back to the drawing board. And after, after they said it was Bush's fault, and it wasn't, and that was a lie. Now we go to April 16th, 2009, and this is where the YouTube version of the show ends. So if you want to actually see the rest of the show, you have to go to SeleneETV.com and follow the links.